Hi, and welcome to Group OT. This week we will be making our very own DIY lacing card. So pick a template that you like, print it out, and let's get started. I should also note that this activity is primarily focused on the lacing portion, which will be at the end of the video. However, if you do not have a lacing card, I will teach you how to make one. Your child can help you make the card, but just keep in mind that making the card is not part of the activity, as it can be more challenging. So just keep that in mind as we go forward. So to make our lacing card, you'll need a printed template. You can choose whichever template you want. I'm making a starfish here. If you don't have colored paper to print on, you can always use white paper and then color it in with a marker, and your child can help you here. We'll also need some scissors to cut them out, a hole puncher, and some string. And shoelace string would be great, that way your child can practice and get familiar with handling a shoelace. So before we cut out our template, let's get a marker or highlighter, and here your child can help you by tracing the border of the shape. That way if they do help you cut it, they'll be more familiar with where they're supposed to cut. So once we have our template ready, we'll start by cutting it out with some scissors. Your child can help you here. Just remind them to go slow and stay on the line, and if possible, it's okay to cut too far from the line than it is to cut into the shape, because that will affect how we're able to punch the holes and string our card later. You can see that regular printer paper is a little bit flimsy. If you had a laminator, that would be great to use because that will make it more sturdy. I don't have one, so I'm going to be using this cardboard box instead. Right, let me move the starfish up. Okay, so I'm going to trace around the starfish that we just cut out. Your child can help you here, but because the printer paper is flimsy, it might be harder to trace compared to something that's more sturdy, so it's up to you if you want to let them practice, or you can just go ahead and trace this by yourself. Once you have it traced, we can get our scissors and go ahead and cut the cardboard, and that will help our card be more sturdy. Okay, now we have our cardboard star ready to go, and it is much less flimsy. And then let's turn it on the back so that we can add our glue and then glue it on. So it might be easier to hole punch if you don't have the glue going through the sides, so maybe just add it right in the middle, and then after you hole punch you can go back and then glue the 5 points. Next, let's get our hole puncher and just punch through all of the circles that we have already printed on our template. This part was a little tricky just because you are punching through cardboard and it can take some time, so just go slow and be patient with yourself and ask for help if you need to. Finally, our lacing card is done, so now we can start with the actual lacing part. So just put a string through a hole and we'll just tie it up, that way our string will be nice and secure, and then we can begin. My string is quite long, so that can make it a bit more challenging because you have to pull all of the string through before you start the next one. So it might be easier to start with a shorter string. So for lacing, there's a ton of different patterns that you can bring the string through the hole with. Here I'm just going over and then under, over and then under. So you can have your child practice that first, and then just have them practice pulling the string through. Holes are too closely spaced together, you can always skip some holes, because if you put more distance between them, that does make it a little bit easier. There are a lot of holes, so you don't need to feel pressured to try to finish the whole card in one sitting. Your child can always just, practice 1 or 2 or 3, stop, take a break, and then come back and work on it at another time. Once they finish with this, you can always do this again using different shapes or different templates. You can also punch holes in paper plates or other pieces of cardboard that you have lying around. And so it's a very good activity for their fine motor skills. And then you can always try to find shapes that they're working on or things that they're interested in, and then keep practicing from there. Well, that's it for this week. Have fun, and see you next time.